So guys, Day Trade Knockouts here. I got another quick video for you. Today I'm going to be talking about the importance of why you shouldn't be focused on the short-term thoughts of trying to get money, but instead you need to focus on the strategy and having certain guidelines to follow regardless of the P&L. Because here's the thing, even though eventually you want to start making money with this, you do need to not just think short-term and just think, oh, let's make this amount of money in this week. You need to think, what are the things I got to do and what are the habits and strategy I need to have in place and perform on a consistent basis in order to have it actually work out in my favor and actually make money in the long term. So let's get into the video. So throughout my almost 2 year journey in trading, a little under 2 years, what has gotten me success is creating rules, strategies, and plans that go in alignment with having good P&L, good R&R, and screen time experience, and overall just having defense first and adjusting to market conditions and maximizing the profits when needed, and having proper stop losses to have good R&R. Now, these past 3 months is a milestone where I've had 3 green months in a row of profits. Some have been more profitable than others. However, the consistency is unlike anything else I've experienced prior to these past 3 months. So, what has helped me do that is having strategies and working on the mentality of being patient when needed, having the confidence to execute on strategy when needed, and overall just having the confidence that I belong here as a trader and to have defense first mentally and not just to go balls to the wall and just buy the most amount of contracts as possible and just, obviously most times that doesn't work. And if it works once, you're probably going to give it back later on in the future. So just having those mindsets and that type of strategy and mentality in play, that's what's helped me get the most consistency I've ever had. Now, I've had to filter out certain things, but I'm just going to go over these rules just to give you an example of how I think. So, this next month, I'm going to be focusing on 8 rules to work on a data set to see what are the results of this month, and overall just to work on the mentality side of my trading, my psychology. So, first and foremost, the SPY QQQ divergent emotional aware rule. Basically, this means that if SPY and QQQ are acting weird and seem divergent, and I get a weird feeling of I don't know what to do, or overall I don't know exactly what to do, and in this scenario, don't take any trades because if SPY and QQQ are acting divergent, you typically don't want to take that trade because something fishy is going on, and you want to just be patient, sit on your hands. One that's taking into effect that I'm recalling an emotion I felt before where it didn't work out in my favor, and typically doesn't work out in my favor on a bounds of probabilities, and also the technical and screen time experience of understanding why you don't want to do that when SPY and QQQ are acting divergent. So that's the first thing. Never trade QQQ or other markets. Me personally, I get the most success trading SPY. I look at QQQ, Microsoft, and all of these different markets that you see. Oh, whoopsie, guys. And all these different markets that you see right here on my watch list. I do look at all these different markets. However, I don't trade them because typically in terms of how fast and how wide markets move on other charts and how other charts move differently, I just like the way that SPY moves and I've had the most success and consistency with it. So that's why I don't like to trade it. And again, this is based on a bounds of probabilities. The strong thesis plan, which basically means the first trade that I took in the first direction I went, I have to only look for re-entries there. So I'm only allowed to continue to look for more setups in the same direction. So if I took a call, I'm only allowed to look for more call long types of trades, and the same vice versa for bear. And I can only look for opposite direction trades if the chart really shows a sign that the current move has been engulfed. Reason being is because I understand on a bounds of probability, due to my mentality and my emotional weaknesses, if I go long one trade and the next one I go short, typically what happens with me is I start just justifying low quality trades and I just start over trading, and that's not what you want to do as a day trader. So I'm doing that for the sake of my psychology and being defensive. The planned exit strategy rule. Basically, this means either if I'm going full position size 5 contracts, half my position size, a little bit but of half being 3, and a little under being 2. So basically, this means I'm adjusting depending on the degree of conviction I have for a trade working out and how much I want to due to higher or lower convictions. The more higher the conviction, I'll go full position size, and when I hit my first target, I'll dump 2 and leave 3 runners. For 3 contracts, when I hit my first target, I'll dump 2 and leave 1 contract. And if I'm only entering with 2, I'm just looking for a quick scalp no matter what, regardless of how much I can maximize the profits. Get in, get out, we're done. That's for the sake of being able to adjust depending on what's going to be happening on the market, to be able to take profits when they're there, and also to be defensive, and just overall to get better at sticking to my rules. The open auction avoid choppy markets were revised, and basically this means if we open inside of the previous day's value area and previous day's range, don't look to take any trades except for the breakouts of this level. So basically, the previous day high or previous day low, because this is just so I can avoid days where I'm less likely to have a trade work out in my favor, and to avoid low quality setups, and just overall to be more defensive and to increase my patience as a day trader. They'll always avoid Jay Powell 2 days before, 1 day before, and the day of. So basically, no matter what, if Jerome Powell or any FOMC statements or press conferences are coming up, do not take any trades 2 days, 1 day, or the day of, no matter what, just for the sake of not being involved with charts that can be pretty wild. The pre-market essentials rule. So basically, this means at the top of my pre-market analysis, above everything else, I have a title called the pre-market essentials. Below, I will make sure no matter what, I always check on these 4 things, and that would be if more than likely I'm going to be taking a trade 9:30 to 9:40 a.m. to use the 4 grid checklist. If the VIX is above or below $20.50. If there's any announcements going on that day, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, or 12 o'clock. And if the market was indecisive and we're going to be breaking the open auction avoid chop rule. This is just to gauge how to prepare for the day session. And last but not least, only 3 trades are allowed in the day. So these rules right here are things I have in place, not just because when you have rules in place and you work on your strategies, you filter out what works and what doesn't work for you due to screen time experience and working a data set. A data set is just saying what has happened, what has transpired through these amounts of trades through this amount of time, and just overall adjusting your strategy based on your strengths, weaknesses, and what works best for your personality and your strategy. So that's what these rules are for. And again, I want you to understand the mindset. My priority and the only victory in day trading is sticking to my strategy, executing my strategy, and not breaking my rules. Because once you do that enough and you have it in place, money will come rather than just looking for money. Because when you try too hard, it typically goes against you. It's kind of like with girls. If you try too hard to get one girl, she's going to see you're desperate. It's not going to work out. But if you do things in place where you get your money on point, you look good, you're charismatic, blah, 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 then girls will start to come to you. Same concept with trading. So I just wanted to cover that with you just to understand the psychology of trading and why it's important. So hope to see you in the next video. Stay safe.